A man's man is Dick Cheney. And I want to do some Dick Cheney clips here in the little time that we have here. I want to go to clip number 10. He's on Hannity's program. He's going to talk about how radical Obama is, and I couldn't be more amused by this. All right, let's watch.
You said that the president's cerebral approach projects weakness and that the president is looking far more radical than you expected. I was, during the campaign, criticized a lot because I was warning, I thought, of the president's radical associations. How radical do you view him now? How radical do you view his opinions?
I saw him, when he got elected, as a liberal Democrat, but conventional in the sense of sort of falling within the parameters of the National Democratic Party. I think he's demonstrated pretty conclusively now during his first year in office that he's more radical than that he's farther outside the parameters, if you will, of what we've traditionally had in Democratic presidents in years past.
Okay, now get a load of Dick Cheney, who started, along with, of course, George Bush, the idea that we should attack countries that didn't even attack us. Okay, that was a radical departure from earlier foreign policy. He started the idea of, hey, you know what? Maybe we should torture people like the communist Chinese did in the 1950s. Let's take their pamphlet and apply it to our detainees and torture them to within an inch of their lives, and sometimes they would lose their lives. But that wasn't a radical departure from what we were doing before. Massive, gigantic tax cuts, shredding of the Fourth Amendment, where basically they thought it doesn't really matter anymore. We're going to do warrantless wiretapping of any damn person we like inside the country. And the national security, you want to talk about radical? No one's more radical than Dick Cheney. But you know what? You got to give the guy credit, because he moved the ball. Unlike Obama, he knew how to move the ball down the field. He moved it all the way to the right-wing goal line, and a lot of times past the goal line. And now Obama wants to take it back 5 yards, and Dick Cheney comes on Fox News and says, oh, yeah, Obama's a lot more radical than I thought. I thought he'd, move it back maybe 1 or 2 yards, because, liberals, they're wimps. I'll move the ball 50 yards, and then they move it back a yard, and oh, celebration. Obama wants to move it back a couple of yards. Ooh, okay, radical. What's radical about Obama? Obama's number one problem is he ain't anywhere near radical. He ain't anywhere near strong enough to get real change. You want to talk about change? You know who got change done? Dick Cheney. Okay, that man knew how to get change done. Now, it turned out to be change that we didn't like, and it didn't work out for the country. But Obama should take a couple of notes from Cheney on how to actually be radical. Yeah, let's do one more. Come on, let's have fun. Let's go to clip number 11, another Cheney clip here.
When in this speech he said, I wanted to transition to the KSM trial a little bit. He said, again, he goes back to this, I prohibited torture, I'm closing Guantanamo Bay. Now they're going to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and some other collaborators in a civilian court. The reaction to that?
The danger of that, in my mind, is it's going to give KSM a huge platform. You'll have the opportunity to go in there, excuse me, and do battle over the evidence, try to get his hands on classified material. Beyond that, he'll be able to go in whenever he's up on the stand and proselytize, if you will, millions of people out there around the world, including some of his radical Muslim friends, and generate a whole new generation of terrorists.
Beyond proselytizing, is there a worry that you would have that he may want to send a message to his fellow terrorists? I mean, do we have to worry about that?
I think we have to worry about it all the time anyway. And
regardless of this?
Well, this may add to it a bit.
Okay, I'm so amused by Hannity's last question. Do you think he might want to send a message to his fellow terrorists? Yeah. They were waiting on him, right? They have all the bombs ready to go. They're like, I just can't figure out, what do you think Khalid wants us to do? You know, Ahmed? No, I don't. Do you know? No, I don't. And then Khalid Sheikh Mohammed gets up on trial and says, launch. They're like, oh, damn, he wants us to launch. Go. Are they looking to do strikes against us now? Of course they are. They're not waiting on some signal from Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. How stupid are you, Sean Hannity? Seriously, I got a question for you, Sean. How stupid are you? All right, and Dick Cheney, with a unique pronunciation of Muslim, by the way, and him as a Muslim radical friends, says, oh yeah, they're going to have access to classified material. Yeah, that's how it's going to work. We're going to start the trial, and we're going to be like, hey, Khalid, what do you need? You want our classified material on, what we got on terrorists so you can share it with everybody? Yeah, go ahead. That's not how it works, okay? For his defense, if he needs certain things, the judge decides what his defense attorney gets to see and not see. All the classified material doesn't all of a sudden become public. It's ridiculous. They know it's not true. And number three, imagine these guys, as I've said before Nuremberg, if they were around, Dick Cheney was around, the Nazis, they would have a platform to get out there and talk about how great it is to be a Nazi and, et cetera, et cetera. No trials. Just take them back. And then we wouldn't have had the Nuremberg trials, which history seems to have thought was the right way to go, but apparently not the conservatives of today. Final clip for you, Dick Cheney again on the trial, clip number 12.
You said in an interview that New York City is great, this trial in New York City is great for Al-Qaeda. It's a pretty strong statement. What did you mean by that?
I mean that I think it'll give aid and comfort to the enemy.
How
I think
tired
it
are you
will
of this?
make Khalid Sheikh Mohammed something of a hero in certain circles, especially in the radical regions of Islam around the world. It'll put him on the map. He'll be as important or more important than Osama bin Laden.
Wow.
And we will have made it possible. We will have given him that platform, that opportunity to come here, and there's absolutely no need to do that. There's all the precedent in the world for prosecuting him with a military commission at Guantanamo and so forth.
It'll put him on the map? This is the mastermind behind 9/11. You think he's not on the map? The great irony here is, this was probably the greatest accomplishment of the Bush administration, was catching Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. They didn't get bin Laden, they didn't get Zawahiri, but getting Mohammed was excellent work, okay? Now they want to hide it, and they want to say, oh, we don't want to put him on the map, okay? And you know what would make him a hero in those circles? Is if you took him out back and shot him in the head. Then they would call him a martyr. But if you gave him a fair trial, you know what? That might convince not the terrorists, but people out there throughout the world that are watching, saying, you know what? America isn't like the terrorists. They're not like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. They don't go and behead people in the middle of the night without a trial. They give them a fair trial. We're supposed to be better than them, Dick. How about you forgot that a long, long time ago?